Crunchy and buttery shortbread base, gooey caramel filling, and luscious chocolate topping. You have Millionaire Shortbread. If you want to learn how to make this, then keep on watching. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to wash your hands and make sure that you sanitize them, which I already did prior to this. So you're going to be needing a bowl and a spatula. So the first thing you're going to be doing is adding 1 cup of butter into the bowl. Now you have to make sure that your butter is at room temperature, and you can actually test it if it's room temperature. If you press the butter, you should see your finger mark on the butter. So you're going to add that to the bowl. And then you're going to cream it together with 2/3 cup of sugar. Now you're going to cream these two together until it is fluffy and pale in color. So as you can see, my butter is already creamed together with the sugar. Now in this process, you're not going to be needing a spatula, and you're only going to be needing your hands, which you need to sanitize and wash before you do this. So for this process, we're going to be doing rubbing, which is actually taking your flour and putting it in your mixture. So this is 2 cups of flour. And you're going to take your hands and rub the butter and the flour together until it creates a very nice buttery shortbread crust. So you're going to be rubbing it together. So as you can see, here is our shortbread crust, and now it is really flaky and really crumbly, so we're going to take our hands and we're going to knead it in the bowl. So now this is how it should look like. So we're going to set this aside, and we're going to be taking our baking pan, which I've lined with parchment paper. I'm going to be buttering this first so that it won't stick, and we're going to have an easier time of removing it from the baking pan. So I have taken a little piece of butter into my hand, and I'm just going to be buttering the sides and also the bottom. So now that we've buttered our pan, I'm going to be taking the shortbread crust and I'm going to pack it into the baking pan. So here it is. Now, before I did everything, I already preheated my oven to 180 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to and we're going to be baking this for 20 minutes. So while our shortbread crust is cooking or is baking, I am going to be making the caramel center. So the first thing you're going to be doing is taking a saucepan and put it into the stove. Then to that, you're going to be adding 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. And then to this, I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of butter. So I'm going to be putting it on medium-low heat, and I'm going to be stirring it along with the butter. And you're going to be stirring these two together until you can see that it has turned into a light amber color. So it will take about 15 to 20 minutes. And now, once the butter has completely melted, I'm going to be adding a pinch of salt
to balance out the sweetness. So as you can see, it still has some turn and amber color, so I'm going to continue mixing it in the stove until it has reached to that color. So as you can see, it has turned into this beautiful brown color, light brown color, and I have been mixing this for about 20 minutes now. And I'm just going to mix it for a little bit more so it could caramelize even more. So now I'm going to be transferring my caramel into a little bowl so that it can cool, and we can put it on top of the shortbread crust. Taking out the shortbread crust from the oven. So you have to be careful because it is really hot. So this is how it should look like, and I also poke it with fork so that it cooks evenly. So now I'm going to be pouring the caramel on top of the shortbread. And I'm also going to take another spatula so I can help scrape it off. Now I'm going to be melting some chocolate for the topping. So now my chocolate has fully melted. I'm going to be putting it over the caramel and shortbread layer. So I'm going to be taking my chocolate, my melted chocolate, and I'm going to be putting it over the top. And there you go. So I'm going to let this cool completely at room temperature until the chocolate on top has hardened and it is ready to cut and serve. So it has finally cooled down and the chocolate has set, and now I am ready to cut it. So this is what it looks like once it's done. I cut it up into these little squares, and as you can see, here is the buttery shortbread. And we also have the caramel filling and the chocolate topping. So that's it. Bye!